Hello everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monogamous May week 3. So if you don't know, in the month of May I am only working on one cross-stitch project. That project is Little Gamer by Gecko Rouge and the artwork is by Medusa Dollmaker. This chart is unfortunately no longer on the Gecko Rouge website, but you can find it on Medusa Dollmaker's own website. And I'm pretty sure the one on her website doesn't have all the blue background, which I had been stitching in the first 2 weeks of May. It's now currently done, and so now I get to move on to stitching other stuff. So I will say that I have been stitching on this a little bit since my last video. So at the end of the last video, I had just finished stitching all of the light blue background, which is all this, and I have already filled in some of the stars. So that's what I'm going to be working on first. I think I'm also going to try and put this into a different hoop. I have a larger Nerge frame and I'm hoping that if I move it into this Nerge hoop that's larger, that I'll be able to work on most of the project without having to move a hoop around. So I'm going to be doing that. And then I was also going to mention, so the colors I'm working on, they're not that exciting right now. So there's 3 colors that are used in the stars. They're also around some of the outlines of the different characters, and it is more blue, so I get to work on more blue for a little bit. But these colors don't have a ton of stitches. I think the one with the most stitches left is color 58, has 859 stitches left. So 3 different shades of light blue. They are right here. So these 2 blues that are like slightly darker are the outlines, and then this lighter one is the inside color of the stars. So I will just be stitching with those colors first, getting the stars finished, and then I can't decide if I want to finish other colors and do extreme cross country by color, or if I will start focusing on like filling in like the Tetris blocks and just work kind of like more page by page. I am not sure yet. I currently have, let me get my phone out. I use the app Stitch Pal, and you can put in your project into Stitch Pal. So let's see if it will focus. There is the app. You put in your projects into Stitch Pal. You can put in the amount of stitches in the project, and then you can put in your numbers of like how many stitches you've done each day. And then they have a little calculator thing where it will tell you how many stitches you have remaining and what day you should complete the project. So I currently have 10,280 stitches left of the project, and I should, according to this, with the amount of stitching that I have done, it says that I should have the project finished on June 1st, which I will say that it says so far I'm doing 765 stitches a day because it's using all of the days that I've stitched, and I've started this project like 2 years ago. And I am trying to do 1,000 stitches a day, so it would be finished within the month of May. Fingers crossed. I do need to do extra stitching this week because over the weekend it's Memorial Day and I will be at my parents' house, and so I need to do extra stitching to make up for the fact that on Memorial Day weekend I will have at least 1 day of no stitching probably. So I'm going to try and do extra this week, so we will see what I can get done. I'm also going to move the hoop real quick and we'll just see if I can get most of the project to fit in this larger Nerge hoop, which I don't really love the larger Nerge hoop just because I can't remember. I think this is like 11 inches and it's just kind of hard to stitch and reach all of the places in the hoop, but I would rather have the whole project in a hoop and not have to move it as often, just because it's kind of annoying to be moving the hoops a lot. So I think I'm not going to be able to get the entire thing in. I'm going to have it situated to where the top is going to be cut off a little bit, which is fine because I have finished most of the stars along the top, and so what I have left is mostly on the bottom. So I am going to cut off a little bit of the top, and that way I should be able to stitch most of this without having to move the hoop. So that's what I will do right now. I have now put it into the frame, so here it is now, and I should be able to work on most of the stars that need to be finished, because like I said, the top is mostly done, I think, with the stars. So I will be working on stars, and I will come back to do an update once I have finished the stars, and then I'll try and figure out what I want to stitch on next, if I want to do by color, or if I want to just focus on filling in areas. So I'll be back when I have an update. I am back with a really quick update. So it is now Thursday, and since my last clip, I have finished filling in all of the little stars, and I started working on this blue Tetris block. So since my last update, I have finished off the 3 colors that were used in the star, and then I also finished all the stitches of the blue that was in that Tetris block. So I have completed 4 different colors since my last update, which is very exciting. And I am going to continue stitching on, I think, the Tetris blocks. I think my plan is going to be to do Tetris blocks, then stitch on the like flowery planty areas, and then I want to do Mario and the mushrooms last, because when I started this project, I started in the center, which was, I think, the mushrooms, and then I worked over to Mario because it was in 2023 and I was going to Nintendo World at Universal Studios, and so I wanted to stitch Mario, and so I think it would be fun to stitch those last because that was technically where I had started on this chart. So that's my plan going forward. I still have, like, I think over 7,000 stitches left to do on this chart, so I'm just going to keep on stitching and see what I get done, and then I think I'll update tomorrow, and that will be the end of this video, and then we'll go into week 4, where hopefully in week 4 I will get this finished. It is now Friday, and I am here with my final update for this week's update video, and I am very excited to show what I got done on Little Gamer. First, I'm going to read off numbers real quick. So I have 6,500 stitches left. I am at 88% complete, and I have finished 14 out of the 72 colors. So I am very excited with the progress that I've been making, and here it is. So I will first hold it back so you can see the whole thing, and then I will go up close and show more detailed of like what I was working on. So I had finished stars earlier in the week, and then I had been working on Tetris blocks yesterday. So I finished this one completely. This one is almost finished, except there's like one light color that has one stitch. This one is almost finished, except it also has a bunch of colors that only have one stitch. So there's like one there that's just gonna have one stitch of that color. And I thought about just doing it with colors that were similar. Like, I thought about just like, if I just kept going with this line right here, but I figured I will do it correctly, even though it's going to take me longer. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing, is just filling in all the confetti stitches. And so it's kind of taking me a lot longer to make progress on this. So now I will put this away, and we will go to my little plannery photo journal, whatever we want to call this, that I have been making. So we will start off with Little Gamer. I have my before and after pictures of where I started the week at 79%, and now I am at 88%, and I love seeing the pictures to show like, where was I before, where am I now? Like, if we go back, okay, so this is my 3rd week for Monogamous May. Let's go back to the beginning. Where was I? Oh my lord. I started the week like that. No blue background. That blue background took forever. I'm happy to see it done. And so yeah, I'm excited to be able to like see the progress that I made. So for yarn, which is knitting and crocheting, I did nothing, no progress, sad face, because number 1, it was taking me longer to get my stitching done on Little Gamer because of all the confetti. Number 2, I was reading. So I finished The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and that is a book about 2 sisters during World War II, and they are in France. And the first half of the book, to me, in my opinion, was kind of slow. It was hard for me to get into. The second half I really enjoyed, but it was very emotional. Like, I had tears at the end. It was super emotional, but very good. And then after that, I was like, I need something that is lighthearted and not going to make me cry. And so I started reading the book Falling in Love at Pennycrest Inn, which is a book that I found on NetGalley. And so it comes out, I think, next month. And this is a book that's like cheesy Hallmark movie. And so there is a girl, and she is in a small town, and a guy comes from the big city, and he inherited a farm, and he's not a farmer. He doesn't know how to run a farm, so he wants to sell the farm, and she needs him to lend their festival some tractors and trailers, for the big summer festival. And yeah, that's the book. You can kind of guess where it's most likely going to go. I'm not done with the book, so I don't actually know what's going to happen, but, like I said, it seems like traditional Hallmark movie when you have like small town girl, big city guy, which is just, it's always so funny. Why do they always have someone from like the big city going to a small town? Why is it not usually the opposite? Why can't someone from a small town go to a big city and fall in love? Anyways, and then I was listening to Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. It's part of the Throne of Glass series, and I'm actually enjoying this one. So I did not like the previous book in the series. I think it's called Heir of Fire, maybe. And I like this one though, and I think part of it is just the story in the last book. It pivots so much from what it was originally that it was really hard for me to get into, and they introduced a lot of new characters that I just didn't care about, and now I'm getting more of the story about the characters, and I like them more, and it's going better. I think I have 7 hours left, and I like it. So yay, because I have all the books in the series on Audible, so I was hoping I would like them again so that I wouldn't have wasted, all my monies on books I don't like. So Queen of Shadows, going good. Going up to games, I have still been playing Atelier Ryza, and I also bought a new game because it sounded so cute, so adorable, and it was by a game company that I really like. So it is from Level 5. Level 5 makes the Professor Layton games, which are on DS, 3DS, and I think they also have some for the Switch. And they're puzzly games, so he is a professor, and it's done like in a really cute art style. I really like games that are, cute. And he is usually solving like crimes, murders, whatever, but it's very cute. Very cute. And you'll like click through like the scene that you're in, and there will be like little puzzles. There will be like little coins you can find to help you get like hints for the puzzles. And there's just different types of puzzles, and there are little hints. And there's also like mini games. Like there was one where you had like, I think, a hamster or something. I had all the games. I played them all. I really loved them. And then also Level 5 made Ni no Kuni, which I think was it on PS3? I know it was on PS4, and they also made Ni no Kuni 2, which was a PS4 game. Love Ni no Kuni. I think it's also been released on Switch 2. So not Switch 2, but like Switch also. And I really like Ni no Kuni. I'm not saying it's related, but Ni no Kuni came out in 2013. The main character's name is Oliver. My middle child was born in 2014, and their middle name is Oliver. And I'm not saying it's connected, but I'm also not saying it's not connected. There was maybe a seed planted in my brain when I played a lot of Ni no Kuni while I was pregnant, maybe, possibly. Ni no Kuni, love it, great game. Anyways, so Level 5 made this game called Fantasy Life. Apparently it was also on 3DS, but I never played the 3DS one when it came out. And so now they have this one, Fantasy Life, the girl who steals time. And they're just gonna steal all my time because now I have to play this game. And it's cute. So the premise of the game, you are on this island, you get to name the island, which I always have trouble naming islands. Like, I hate coming up with names. You cannot put me on the spot like that, and I feel like it's just so much pressure to get a good name that's not going to be lame in like a year. Anyways, so you're on the island, and there's like all these jobs, all these lives that you can do. So you can be a tailor, angler. Actually, you're gonna be all of them. You can switch. There's like a little place, and you can go and you can switch. There is a cook. You could do like more fighting ones if you want to fight. I haven't really done any fighting things, but there's just like a whole bunch of like fun little things. And so right now I'm a tailor, So I'm gonna make clothes for people, and you will like get like someone will tell you like I want this, and then you have to go and find the materials. So like I was going getting like dandelions, you know, and then there's like these little like mini games to like make the clothes, and where you're going to like the sewing machine, but then you have to go cut, and then you're like sewing, and it's just really fun, really cute, and I like these types of games. You can really do whatever you want. So like if you want to go fight people, you can go fight people, but if you just want to go and like pick flowers and make some garments, or the cooking, I'm really excited to see the cooking life. And like I think there's 12 different lives that you get to do, and then you also level up. So the more you like play in your life, you'll get like little quests, and there's like a life master who will like train you, and then you level them up, and it's just all very cute and very fun. So I am enjoying that, but it also took time away from all the other things like crocheting. I am still wanting to work on the 2% blanket. It's actually behind me right there. That is all that I have for this video though. It is currently Memorial Day weekend coming up. It's Friday right now, so this weekend is Memorial Day in the US. If you are in the US, I hope you have a great holiday weekend. I know that last weekend was Canada's holiday weekend, so if you are in Canada, I hope you had a good holiday last weekend. So I will be back next week with an update and hopefully a finish, fingers crossed. And thank you everyone for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Bye!